direction, so gain winds and especially very steep seas with short periods. So we are preparing the paravanes before coming out to sea.
Heading out to sea, knowing we will encounter a heavy sea wave, we deploy the paravanes, starting with the booms on each side. We then deploy the fish, and we normally deploy the fish under speed, and as you see here, that can create quite a jump of the fish, but for us that never really caused any problem. We then also set the bottom reefed mainsail, which gives stability while heaving to. So coming out to sea, we choose to test the parachute anchor in leeward of some high mountains, and as you see here, Felix is starting to deploy the pennant line with the white fender on the end of it, and then comes the floating line with a red fender on it. And here he's feeding out, the pennant line is already in the water, now he's feeding out the floating line, and after that comes the yellow bag, which contains the whole parachute anchor. Felix is here feeding out the rod, and about 15 meters is supposed to be quite a good length before you start to pull in the rope or in the rod and tighten up the parachute anchor. And here we are also feeding in the chain, which is sort of a damper on the rod. And then when we start to tighten up the rod, you can see how the bow of Dora Mac is slowly turning up into the wind, and we're hanging in the parachute anchor. It's quite a great experience, quite easy to deploy, but of course this is in winds of around 20 knots, would be quite a different thing, a full storm. According to the school book, you're supposed to have about 2 wavelengths between the parachute anchor and the bow of the boat. And well, here we are hanging now in the parachute anchor, and we're taking a lunch break before the next episode, which is retrieval. So retrieving the parachute anchor, you start to head for the white fender as you saw just to the starboard of the forestay, and you get the white fender up and you start to pull in the pennant line, and you pull the pennant line all the way in on deck, and then you reach the red fender, which is the start of the floating line, and in this way you can release the pressure on the parachute anchor. And we're actually making a mistake to bring it in on the leeward side here, but as you see, Felix is changing that, and we take all the floating line over the bow anchor, and then we start to retrieve the rest of the parachute anchor over the windward side instead. So you see in this picture here, you can see the yellow bag, and you can see the parachute anchor without any pressure in it at all, ready to be pulled up on deck. Retrieval of the parabanes is best done in flat, calm waters, and for us it meant doing it in darkness, but that's perfectly okay if you have a good headlight on, working in red light.
Junior, Dora Mac, 06 over. Hello, this is Dora Mac. We're coming on counter course through Rystram, and we have a little bit of problems in the counter current to stay on steady course. Over.
Okay. Yeah, I keep starboard side of Rystram, so it's no problem. So.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much for that, and back to channel 60.